Good afternoon, guys, and welcome to the first online music school session. Today we're going to be going through how to learn the notes on the piano, so stay tuned, and in the meantime, hit like and subscribe.
Move away from the tribe. Oh yeah, we're in Soapville.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Straight for us is the way.
Okay, so in this first lesson, we're going to take a look at the notes on the piano. For those of you who don't already know, the notes on the piano are based off the first 7 letters of the alphabet. So that's A, B, C, D, E, F, and G. So how do we find out the notes? How do we know what note is where? Okay, so there's a very simple way, and we're going to use the black keys on the keyboard to help us. So if you can locate the 2 black keys on your keyboard, just before the 2 black keys, you will find the note C. And likewise, if you can find the 3 black keys on the keyboard, just before the 3 black keys, you will find the note F. Using those 2 notes, you should be able to find the other notes on the keyboard. These notes repeat themselves across the length of the keyboard. So if you start off down on the bottom end of your keyboard, you'll start with C. It goes C, D, E, F, and G. Once you get to G, the next note after G is A. Okay, because we don't have a note after G derived from the alphabet for the notes on the keyboard. So it starts off with A again, and then it continues A, B, C, D, E, F, G, and then we start off at A again, and so on and so forth. So the notes on the keyboard actually repeat themselves as we go up and down the keyboard. What does this mean? We have, what, 5 C's, 5 A's, 5 G's, depending on the length of the keyboard you're using? The answer is yes. They are all the same note, but there is a difference in these notes. So when you start off lower, you will notice that the sounds are lower, the sounds are darker, okay? And as you move along the length of the keyboard from left to right, you'll see that the same sound, the same note, it gets higher. Okay, so you have a low C, you have a high C, you have a low A, and you have a high A, okay? Now, they are the same note, but there is a difference, and the word that we use to describe the difference in these notes, or in these versions, different versions of the same notes, is called pitch. The next thing I want you guys to observe is that the distance from one C to the next C, the next immediate C, is called an octave. So last off, we're going to take a look at the black keys on the keyboard. So these black keys, they have 2 names depending on how you play them and where you play them. So they can either be called sharps at any given point in time, or they can be called flats at any given point in time. So why are they called sharps and flats? Well, simply because if you find one of these black notes, the sound of that note is like an in-between sound. It's a sound which expresses the previous note sharpened and the note after it flattened. Okay, so for example, if we find C on our keyboard and next to C, the next natural note is D, we have this note in between, okay, and the sound from that note is like a space in between C and D, okay, it's not quite C and it's not quite D. This note now has the name C sharp or D flat. And again, the name is interchangeable depending on when you play the notes. On the screen now, you're going to see an image which shows you the rest of the notes. These 5 notes are the only notes on the keyboard that have 2 names. Okay guys, so a very quick recap of what we've learned today. We've learned about the notes on the keyboard or the piano, and we've learned that they are derived from the letters of the alphabet. So we have A, B, C, D, E, F, and G. Okay, we've also learnt where we can find those notes on the keyboard, and we've used our rule, the rule that C always comes before the 2 black keys and F always comes before the 3 black keys. As we go from left to right on the keyboard, these notes repeat themselves. So we have C, D, E, F, G, A, B, and it goes to C again, and so on and so forth, all the way down the keyboard. The different types of C, if you have a low C or a high C, the name we use or the word we use to describe that is pitch. And lastly, I've shown you guys how to identify the sharps and the flats. So I hope you guys will find this video useful as a foundation to your learning. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time. God bless.